Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, boys and girls, girls and boys, everything else. Now, where is... Oh, I have one phone. What do I do with my sunnies? I think I left them over there. That's life, that's what you're gonna do. So now, we have an hour break, and we drive to the other side of the university. The Salty Nymph, the Syriac Sisters. How did the experiment go? I had to get rid of... Hello, Gin Tonics. Hello, support sub, sir. Everybody, welcome. We're now up to 507 followers. Like, why? Like a month ago, we were at 380 or something. So I don't know what's going on. Thank you, sir. Anywho, the experiment. Yeah, I had to hide it. Unfortunately, the university has explained to me that it's not. I mean, they were very, very nice. You have a bone to pick with me? Yeah, get in line. You're just interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad, clearly. Oh, man. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, so, no, they're hello, Jay Diva. They're lovely, lovely people. I have to say, they're lovely people here. This uni is awesome. I'm so happy that there's still seemingly a university that's freaking awesome. And they're just nice people, and they're down to earth. Maybe because they're out in the country. That could be what it is. Welcome back to Texas. Platinum me. Gone to visit the hurricanes. What a good person. Maybe more of us should do that. Yeah. Wow, everyone's just doing their thing. God, it's gorgeous now. The sun... Okay, I have to stop and show you where I am. Because right now, I am nowhere near Sydney. And I'm basically halfway in between two cities. Your steering is on the other side. It is. We keep changing here. We like to change in Australia. We like variety. I don't know if you can see that. But isn't that just freaking tornadoes also? Touch wood, down here, there aren't any. In Australia, down south, it's pretty damn safe. It's just absolutely stunning. Doesn't come out really in the phone. Loads of photons. Damn straight, Mr. Deltron. Yeah, but I was once again too dumb to realize that I'm supposedly not supposed to be talking too much about what happens at the uni. I honestly didn't know that. I just can't believe that after how many freaking stupid things I get caught up in without realizing. I ended up doing the same thing. It's a disaster. But they were very nice. They were very nice to me. So I just hid the chat. I said, no, I'm not going to film anymore. That's enough. I didn't even believe I was anywhere near them. I wasn't any. But if that's how it's going to be, that's fine. I respect that. At least I know. So now here is where the autist stuff becomes a little bit of an issue. Oh, by the way, our book is now in 3 days is going to be on the Ex Libris website. The letter X, Libris.com. Ex Libris, my friends. Our book will be available, downloadable electronically for I think about $4 or $5 US. So congratulations. And as soon as we get enough sales, that will add to our pre-orders, by the way, because we have to make... we had to make, I think, 25,000, and I think we're up to about 13,000. I can't remember. I always get the numbers wrong, but we have 12,000 to go out of 12,000 Australian to go out of 30,000 Australian. I think that's what it is. So we've actually done really well. We're doing amazingly well. So what we did was obviously all the advertising and stuff we still need to do, and all of the interviews and the book signings. But what I decided to do was we'll get the book out online first as a pre-release. So we're going to do a pre-release on the website at Ex Libris to try and raise the extra amount needed. And I think out of that $5, I think $1 goes to the thing. So we'll have to sell about 15,000 books, you know, obviously ignoring any pre-orders. So if we didn't do any pre-orders, but like I said, it's an additional way. So we've got the Pompous store, which is now live. On the Facebook /Gabsmacked, and then you just click on store, and all of that's just going to the book, and then that pre-release, the ebook pre-release, that's going towards raising money for the books. I've got a couple of interviews coming up, So they've already locked me into some online interviews with some American journalists, some obscure American book journalists. I don't even know, how do I get to this place? I don't know where I'm going. I think it's this way. Anyway, so we're doing all of this stuff together to raise awareness and just build up that final 12,500. But I can't believe that we're getting closer and closer. I started with 18 followers. Ask Siri. Yeah, I don't even have an iPhone. Platinum Mimi was amazing. She sent me a massive one-off contribution, which was insane. But I just put it all towards the book. So I said, nah, I'm fine with these phones. And I owe 4 people who bought some shirts $2 back because we were able to get a better deal, which is good. I don't know where I'm going, man. I'm back to where I was. Anyway, so all of that's out of the way. I got to talk to you guys now about what it's like to go to dinner. So I'm going to dinner and there's going to be a lot of people there and they're all going to communicate with each other. Some are nerds, some are not. I don't know how it works. And they all integrate. I've learned now, at least for this week, to stay on my own because I don't know what I'm doing that's upsetting people. Like, oh, by the way, just now I was talking about how much fatter one telescope was than the other telescope. And then one woman looked at me with this unbelievably dirty look. So I'm like, what did I say wrong? I'm talking about a telescope being fatter than another telescope. What is the book about? I would recommend go to YouTube, go to Gabsmacked and look up Second Life Autism Speech, or look up the book readings. I think I've made it somewhere and you will see what the book is about. But it is the tragedy of the retarded genius. Sounds fine to Deltron? Then maybe Deltron and I would both be in trouble. Yeah, basically it's about how dare you call a telescope fat. I think that's what it was. Oh man, but they're really nice. Honestly, no, the people here are so much nicer, man, than in the city. I touch wood, as of yet, I have not seen one elitist type anywhere. Like, even the professors are just like wearing regular sweaters and sweatshirts, whatever you call them in the US, and they're just walking around like they don't worry about trying to style their hair, like, you know, like they think they're Justin Bieber's dad. You know, it's just they seem so far like just really nice people. Hello, they say hello. I love that stuff. There's no bullshit, there's no nothing. Are pretty chilled out. Yeah, well, I tell you what, I love the country then if that's the case. Honestly, people in Sydney, I mean, I don't know, people are lovely, but in Sydney there's a lot more assholes. When in doubt, wear a lab coat. Everyone nicer. Oh, really? That's hilarious. So in the country in Australia, they're nicer, and in the country in the US, they're not. What does that even mean? That's insane. So this country thing is universal. Where am I? Now I'm at the chemistry labs. I don't know what I'm doing. About the book is about. I'm sorry, yes. All right, so the book is about undiagnosed autism that I had, but I also had savantism, so I learned how to mimic humans, but at the same time didn't know anything about them, and it was an absolute tragedy. Abused by teachers and students. There was a lot of violence. I then took up martial arts and started getting revenge on the bullies, but the beast within me grew. Then I was end up in the Middle East. I got arrested as a Jewish spy in Syria, even though I'm not Jewish and I'm not a spy, believe me. And then I ended up with my third and final suicide attempt that was almost successful, but my father found my body and was able to save my life. I was in a hospital in a coma. Oh, there you go. Small world, my friend. I was in hospital in a coma for 3 days, 2 nights roughly. And then from that, I was able to then figure out that I was some sort of genius who could do anything, basically anything, could copy anything. And then learned more and more how to function, spent 7 years doing that, then became the head of a gigantic company, but still had no idea what he was doing. And then something happens at the end of the book, which I won't tell you, but that's the end of the tragedy. I also got back to Syria. Hail Hitler. Well, Hitler's dead, my friend, so you got to catch up. Excuse the saying, but thank God for your dad who saved my life. Yeah, I guess so. You're a miracle in many ways. It seems to be that way. So it turns out that there's only a few people in the world like me who are able to do that stuff. And so I have since been the study of many topics. And what else can I tell you? Yeah, I ended up doing weird things like learning French and Italian in 40 hours and becoming a teacher of them at the school, but I can't even find the freaking meal place. which is ridiculous. Anywho, so that's the story. What can I tell you? Then I became a famous DJ, and then that collapsed because of the depression and then the suicide and everything else. I found it. I found the meal place. Awesome stuff. Yeah. And what else can I tell you guys? And it has a lot of stories that you guys would identify with, according to the 5 people that have read the book. But they're exaggerated, right? So I tried to make friends at the beginning when I was a teenager, and I said, "Hello, I heard you eat shit." And the guy, like, obviously because I could function at a certain level, he didn't realize I didn't know what I was doing. And so he thought that I was just being a dick, and then that turned into a fight. Then I got kidnapped by 8 guys who thought I was like retarded, and yeah, it's a whole thing. I haven't done a good job of explaining it, but that's life. Do what you gotta do. So now what we're gonna do now as the autist is we're gonna go in there, and it's gonna be very difficult to sit down with people. But I have learned how to hide it. So I just walk through. I've learned to, perfect my walk so you can't tell. And I've learned to say, "Hello, how are you? I would like that, please. Thank you very much." So I've learned to do all that stuff so people can't really tell. Just pretend it's a scope. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah. And then I'll sit there, and is that why you always wear sunglasses? No, only I wear sunglasses because it's sunny. But that could be true, I don't know. And I learned to fake eye contact and all that stuff over many years. So it's been pretty cool. And I was a pianist from the age of 2, and at the age of 10, by memory, I got a perfect score at New South Wales Classical Pianist, and they look good. Yeah, I don't know. I find them, like, as a bus driver, I just find them. So if no one claims them, I wear them. That's how we go. And it's so pretty here. It's absolutely pretty. Have a look at these trees. It's just a gorgeous place. Oh, here we are at the dinner place. We're at the dinner place. You play beautifully. Oh, I thank you, my dear. You had Jim Beam shades earlier. I did. I think I left them in the lab, and they're harder to see when the sun's latitude. When the sun in the sky sort of starts to drop. So here we are, and I'm going to go in and eat. And now what's interesting is people are nice, which is a mad relief in the country, but people act, they don't know how to treat you because you're a little bit off. So people, instead of thinking that you don't know what you're doing, they actually think that you're devious or something like that. Not going to get them back. I'll go back to the lab. This is our break now. Now the sun's going to go down, and we're going to look at the stars, and we're going to enter the data into the computer. It was so cool. We were trying to track the moon just now, and the moon looked amazing. It was like this little ball of cheese. It was so cool, but it moves so quickly. Like every 30 seconds you have to readjust the scope. Telescope, they call them scopes, which is weird. They're like, take your scope. Yeah, they're really good. And then after that, we're now going to enter it into the computer, so the computer will automatically track the thing that we lock onto. It's sort of like those target locks in the military, in the Air Force, lock on target. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be pretty cool. That's about it, I think. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about how the anxiety that people with high functioning autism, probably low functioning, but high functioning, have to go through, because they suffer the same absolute unknowing of how to behave only via learned behavior. This is the thing that regular humans still don't get. My own family didn't get this until recently, because I didn't get it either, right? But basically, the regular humans are able to just know certain things. Like, how did you not know that you can't park your car there, but you can park it there? Now, the autist has to learn each thing, each individual rule. You're talking about millions of rules. So I've spent years, now at 36, I'm able to function as a regular person to a certain degree, because there's heaps of things I've done over and over again, like how to pay, how to this, how to that. But there are certain higher levels of social gatherings, like with more than one person, where it's just you can't extract from the other rules how to behave in new situations. And if you ever come across an autist, that's exactly the problem. And so their behavior looks sus, instead of that they just don't know what they're doing. Because the regular human just says, how do they not know? How do they not know to open this door or knock on this door? So my rule is, if a door is locked, you knock on it 3 times. The problem is that rule doesn't always work, because that door that's locked, maybe there's no one in there, or maybe there's a lecture going on inside. So I've made those mistakes where there was a lecture and I knock on the door, all right? And then people think you're being a smartass because they's like, can't you see that there's a lecture on? But that's an extra rule to do with menial things. Is that it? No, I don't. I mean, that sounds good. I wish it was that. That would be an easier thing to live with. All right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you, because I've noticed that in public, when I scope, I seem to attract trouble, which has happened now twice. So I'm going to turn it off and talk to you guys later.